Geoffrey here. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can decide if things are hopeless or if you should keep fighting for your marriage if you find yourself in a place where your partner wants divorce at this exact moment. And I really want you to stay till the end of this video because I'm going to show you some perspective. And these are also the same things when my client realizes this. It really transforms their viewpoint on this whole situation that you're facing right now. And in case we haven't met, my name is Geoffrey and I help men in long-term relationships or in marriages and empower them with the right skills and knowledge to be able to thrive in their relationships. So if you want more videos that can empower you with this right skills and knowledge, then I want you to subscribe and click the bell button as well to be notified when I post new videos 3 times every single week. And real quick before we begin this video, I want to let you know that a few spots have opened up for my masterclass on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up. So if you want in on the masterclass, be sure to stay till the end of this video for the announcement on how you can get in on that. So the first point here is, how do you decide if things are hopeless or that there's still hope? And a lot of men think that if my partner is really angry, if my wife is really angry right now, and they're wanting this divorce because they're still so angry about all the stuff that happened in the past in the relationship, that means that it's hopeless. But that's actually not the case as well. Because you have to understand that the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. The truth is, if your partner is still angry at you, is still angry at the past, angry at the situation, it means that they still care enough about you, about the relationship, to feel angry about it. So when your partner is really angry at you, ironically, that's when you still have hope. But when you should worry is when your partner is completely indifferent to you now, where the thought of losing you or getting back together doesn't even affect her emotionally at all. That's when you should worry. Now, of course, this is not a black and white thing. This thing exists in a scale. So, between being angry and being indifferent, there's a scale here. You can use this to gauge where you are on that scale. Is your partner more on the indifferent scale or on the angry scale? And using that gauge, you can gauge how much hope you have in this situation right now. Now, the second point that I want to give you here is that, in most cases, your partner actually wants you to succeed. They want to be able to see your changes. They want the relationship to work out. And the thing that's making you feel really hopeless right now is that your partner may be telling you, for example, that she feels hopeless. She feels like there's no hope in you changing or her feelings changing or even the situation changing. But you have to understand the fundamentals about human psychology here in that people make decisions via their emotions, not their logic. So when she's telling you that she feels hopeless, that she doesn't see how you can change or the situation can change, she's really coming from a place of emotions, of how she feels today. Maybe she understands that logically that things can change, that there is a future, that there is hope. Emotionally, she can't feel that right now. And maybe she feels this because, maybe you've promised her changes many, many times before in the past. But every time you promise these changes, the changes don't really happen. So now, even though she understands logically that there might be a possibility for change, emotionally, she finds it hard to believe it because of the broken promises in the past. The other reason maybe is that the problem can be so complex, so complicated in her mind. There's so many entrenched problems, layers of problems, and emotionally, she doesn't believe that things can change right now. Or maybe it's the lack of trust in you, that you've been doing the same behaviors for maybe years or maybe even decades, and she doesn't really emotionally believe that you can change. But can these emotions change? Absolutely. And that's the very nature of emotions, in that they can change, and they can also change very, very quickly. So for example, in 90% of the cases that I take, most of my students start off in a state where their wives has really no hope for the relationship. They've either moved out, they've really left the relationship, they're completely emotionally checked out. They tell them that they have no hope, they don't see any future together, they don't believe your changes, whatever it is. But what's interesting here is that when they make the massive transformations in their own behavior, in their own mindset, and give their partner a reason to suggest that the past doesn't equal the future, that the future can look very different from the past, that you are a permanently changed person. What's funny is that her emotions can change as well, but it can only change when you give her a reason of why it can change. And that brings me to my third point, which is that the changes that you make needs to be real. It needs to be genuine, not fake, contrived, or playing out a script, basically. You have to understand that this is a very emotional game. Meaning that you can't just tell this to her. You can't just tell her, hey, I'm changing. Hey, things are different. The future can be different. The past doesn't always equal the future. You can't just tell her this, because if you tell her this is going to only appeal to her logical side, but it's never going to appeal to the emotional side. But it's the emotional side that we want to appeal to. And so how do we actually appeal to the emotional side? Well, for one, you gotta show her that you're bettering yourself for the sake of bettering yourself. She needs to believe that your changes are genuine, your changes are real, and they're permanent. And she cannot feel that the changes are permanent and real if she can sense deep down that you're simply making your changes because you want her back. If the intention behind you bettering yourself is that you want her back, then she can smell that. She'll be very suspicious and she'll continuously question you to say, hey, I don't want you to make these changes because you want me back. I want you to make these changes because you're going to be a changed person. I want to make sure that when I do come back to you, that your changes will stick. And the only way of conveying this to her in a proper way, an appeal to her emotions here, is if you truly, deep down, shift your reasoning for bettering yourself away from getting your partner back into simply bettering yourself for the sake of bettering yourself. And only then can your approaches, can your actions seem genuine, and only then can she really emotionally believe you. And part of this is also your ability to come from a place of want rather than need. So the main question here is, can you walk away from the relationship and stay motivated in bettering yourself, fully motivated, when your partner still wants to divorce you, when the outcome that you want is not there yet? And if you can walk away, then you're coming from a place of want, and that's a place of more genuine change. But if you cannot walk away, if you get unhinged, if you get panicked every single time she threatens divorce, then she knows that you're still coming from a place of need. And when you're coming from a place of need, she will continuously sense and be suspicious of your intentions to change. She'll always think that you're doing this because you're still trying to get her back, and it won't feel genuine, and she can smell that, and it will stink. And the last thing you need to make sure to do here is to make the massive and insane transformations in yourself and convince her through your actions, through your changes here, that the past doesn't always equal the future. Now, there's a whole video topic around what does it actually mean to make insane changes in yourself. You know, a lot of men, for example, think that simply bettering yourself is just simply painting, let's say, a good picture in social media. Show that you're happy, show that you're positive, maybe be more successful at work, go to the gym and work out, lose weight, gain muscle, whatever. But it goes much deeper than that. Right? You need to be able to become the man who can give her the emotional safety, the emotional needs that she wants, the admiration that she wants, and so on. So if you want more resources on what bettering yourself actually means, then I want you to stay till the end of this video, and I'm going to give you a few resources that you can use to get a clearer picture of what it means to actually better yourself in a way that touches her heart, touches her emotions, and appeals to those emotions that we want. And the last thing here is some perspective that I want you to think about. And this is an insight that I have after watching hundreds of men go through this journey of rebuilding their relationship from the ground up and creating a thriving relationship from the ground up, from a state where it's broken, is that I want you to understand the difference between being proud of your relationship versus being simply grateful. So most people, I think of a relationship like a vase somewhat. That, you know, when you have a broken vase, you can try to mend it back up again, but there'll always be these cracks, these imperfections, and it will never be as nice or as beautiful or as rosy as it was before. But what I found is that this is actually quite bullshit. It's actually quite far from the truth. You know, there's a lot of people, for example, in this world who are born rich. Or there's a lot of people who begin their romantic journey with a dream relationship. You know, their relationship has been great from the start and they continue being great from the very beginning. And these people who are born rich or started out with a great relationship, they can feel grateful about what they have. And they can feel happy about what they have, sure. But there's one thing they can't get, and that's the feeling of pride. Because the truth is you can only feel proud of something if you have poured your own blood, your own sweat, and your own tears into fighting for something. For example, I wasn't born rich, I wasn't born extremely privileged, and I had to fight for my business, for example. I had to go through taking some minimum wage jobs. I had to go through a couple of years where, as I was trying to build this business right now, I had to go through like making no money, basically, no revenues for a couple of years. And it was a real struggle. And I also had to fight through rebuilding my own relationship as well, because when my relationship started, it was a nightmare as well. But because I fought through those challenges to build my business, despite those challenges, and because I fought through those challenges to rebuild my relationship to where it is today, not only can I reach a place where I can feel grateful for what I have and happy about what I have, but I can also reach a place where I can honestly say I can feel proud of what I have, proud of what I've built. And that's a much more beautiful feeling. And that's not something that anyone can say, especially when they're simply given a good relationship from the start. So I want this to motivate you here, in that, you know, when you mend your relationship, when you fix your relationship, it isn't like a broken vase where it will always be this less perfect version of what it was before. I want to open your mind to the possibility that it can actually become better, than what you imagined. Because now you can not only feel grateful about it, but it's something that you can cherish, you can feel proud of, because you have done the work. You have poured your own blood, sweat, and tears to rebuilding that relationship. And if you want to learn more skills and more mindsets so that your actions can seem more genuine here, that you can appeal to her emotions in a very genuine way and actually invite her to come back into your relationship in a much more effective way. And if you want to learn skills and techniques to be able to do this properly as well, then you want to join me in my free masterclass on the 5 proven steps to rebuilding your relationship from the ground up. And in this masterclass, you will learn the exact same processes that all my students have learned and what I have used as well to rebuild my own relationship from the ground up. I'm going to show you how to simplify your problems in your relationship and why perhaps a lot of your approaches that you've tried so far have not worked for you. And I also want to give you some key mindset shifts that you can take away with you so that you can take the first steps to completely changing your approach for your relationship for the better. So if this masterclass sounds interesting to you, then you can click the link above my head or down in the comments or in the description box below this video. And if you're looking for a free guide, a free resource that can help you lead conversations better in your relationship, especially the difficult ones that you're gonna have in this very difficult situation that you're in the brink of divorce, and ensure that your conversations never escalate into arguments or go in a bad direction basically where it destroys the relationship even more, then you want to download my free guide on how to open and heal your partner's emotions above my head or in the comments or description box below this video as well. And if you're looking for a community where you can get support or ask your questions and actually get good answers to your questions, then you can join me in my free Facebook group where you can post those questions and actually get good advice from other members of the community or myself even. And if you want to join that Facebook group, the link is also down below this video or in the comments below as well. In the meantime, do leave a comment. I do want to hear from you on what did you find most eye-opening, most inspiring, most insightful about this video. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. In the meantime, if you like this video, find it to be valuable, go ahead and like it and subscribe to this channel for more content like this one. For now, I'll leave you with these 2 other videos that can equip you with more skills and more knowledge to be able to thrive in your relationship for the long haul. For now though, I'll see you in the next video.